Hello everybody, welcome back to A Good Snowman is Hard to Build. We ended off last time trying to build the snowman on this puzzle here as far close to that bottom left corner, not where I'm stood, but here specifically, so that we can try and make a dream snow person with the two others that you see on the left of your screen there. So we'll give that a go for a few minutes, and then if I'm really not making any headway, we'll see if there's another trio that we can investigate. I don't remember the background being quite so, like, howly and spooky in previous occasions, but maybe that's just me. Right, from here, I've actually trapped myself. Now, here's a question. Could I build the snowman in this exact spot rather than this exact spot? And would that be able to be resolved? If I had these three spots being snowmen, this one would need to lose 2, which could be 1, 2 down, and then that one could move 1 to the right for 3, and then 2 and 3. I think they would both become heads. I think it has to be this tile here, because of course they get smaller in the inverse world. So how are we going to do this? Once that's done, I don't really have any option about where else to put it. And this doesn't help me because now I can't get the head, I can't get this out to anywhere else. So if this is going to come to the left, it has to start by moving up before then, at some point, coming down and left again. And if it's going to do that, then after this, I can move the head, or what I presume will eventually become the head, over in reserve. Then if that becomes body, I was about to say everything will be great because I can push this to the corner, but now the problem is I can't get the midsection onto the legs. And then the other thought becomes pushing this over, but now I can't push the big one to the left, which I imagine is the problem I was having previously. So is there anything else I can do here? I can't push anything to the bottom lane, because if I push it down to here, I can't recover it, because there's no way to go out and then loop back in from the bottom. If this is here, I also get stuck, because this can't go up to make itself bigger again. So this is the conundrum that I'm currently in, basically. If that goes over and that goes over, I now can't move that to stay small. And if this comes over to the side, I can't move it out to the left again. So there's so many restrictions on the moves that I can make. Like, I can't even do this because 2 equally sized balls can't stack on top of one another. So I must be very close without being quite there, I think. Like, this one here has to go up or left as well. And in doing so, that only leaves me with this one being the option for the head. Now, what if we made this bigger and then bring the head over to the left and put that out of the way there for a second? Then we absorb this bit of snow. Oh, I think we've got it. I think we've got it. I don't have it. Damn it. I can't push the head onto the body. God damn it. Ah, okay. Wait. If I push that over one more, hold on. Then I maintain a gap between that and there. Then I can make these two swap places. And then this can come all the way to the left. I do have it. I do have it. Alright. So, we have those three. And then if I take a quick nap on a bench, they have become these three. So this simply goes... How does this go? That'll be the head. This can be the body. And then the head follows along behind. I really like how the camera punches in when it knows you're getting to where you want to be. So now we have blue on all of this side. Is it melted water? Like, do you hear the ever so faint wet footsteps beneath? Not sure, but we progress. Now, assuming that the ones that we've done are correct, because the one that was in this room here, or this garden, could not be combined with any other pieces than this one and this one. So you have to assume that those three are correct, which means this one cannot contribute to any other grouping than this and this and this together as a trio. So I think that's going to be my next set of goal. Hugs for the birthday. So Julian needs to come to the right hand side. Kate needs to come to the left. And Rebecca needs to go to that top left corner. Could be tricky. Well, there's no snow on the ground here, so I assume my options here are going to be most limited. So what we must remember is that we can't put anything on the edges that we don't want to be moved after the fact. But now that that's there, we can actually build this as close to this corner as we want. It might be a question of, do we want to do this one last? Because this one was quite simple. This one would be very easy to recreate. But in doing so, we are closing an exit off to ourselves that might be beneficial for looping between these other two levels. So I am just going to reset Rebecca here. And we'll remember that that was very simple to solve. And in the meantime, we'll see what Julian and Kate have to do. So let's restart Julian. And we want to be going to the right. We need to collect 3 pieces of snow, 2 for a body, 1 for a midsection. And I'm wondering if there will actually just be a lot of work we can do clearing the snow by using the gaps that we have maintained. So we can manipulate stuff to our leisure elsewhere. If I now go out of the top end of here, we can do a full lap. And this may well be absolute overkill, but I'd rather be more prepared than less prepared when we start moving stuff over to the right. Now, I can't move it to the bottom lane because I can't push it up from the bottom lane when I get there. Rebecca is going to stand here. So I think I would like Julian to be right here against this bush. Now, how am I going to get this piece as a head down? It's probably going to have to go to here. Or it's going to be the torso, but still then it's going to need somewhere to be parked. So if I move this all the way around, take a little walk, and push this down, I can temporarily put this here, pop what I think will be the head over, and put it there. Then again, I can just do a long walk if I have to. I've got no grief with that at all. And then I'm going to move this over once. Move this back. Then go all the way around again. Now I can push that up, that down, that across, that down. Okay, now I've got a problem. I need to clear this bit of snow, and I didn't do it sooner. And I can't push this downwards. So I think what I actually want to do, before that top one gets big, I have no idea how far back I need to go for this. I can't rewind through garden exits. Okay. So, this guy's going to be big. We know that much. We know we can get out and around through here. So what I need to remember is the top piece is going to hop over the big piece to gain its snow in a second. So the big snowball's going to be where I'm stood. The little snowball on the left will land on this spot, becoming the medium body piece, which can then be moved to the right, and that might not work either, because say this was here, and I did this to make my second large piece. I now cannot move them. Can I? I can't move that to the side. I can't move it up. And I can't move these two as a unit. So it's not that. Glad I figured that out before committing further. I still think consuming a bunch of snow on this right-hand side is fundamentally a good idea. Because otherwise, I'm backing myself into more corners. The annoying part is getting around to this top end, although this is actually much faster. So this needs to move one, and then get away from the walls. Which seems very difficult. Because as soon as this gets up here, I'm in the same situation I was in a second ago, where I end up with this, and this is no good to me. So, how am I ever getting the top piece further away? Well, if I build the medium piece that way, I can do this. And now, assuming that I can get out and round again, rather than building the midsection going to the right, if I do it to the left, I can just clear the whole pathway for the midsection. Then I need to do the thing I did with this. So I'm going to move the top piece behind that birdhouse so that it's out of the way for my corner geometry with the little one here. So that goes to there, that goes to there. This goes over. I can park that, and then we can all go to the right without further inconvenience. Just a last couple of walks, and that one will be done. In what I hope is an amicable position for the inverse solve. Cool. So then, Kate. Bottom left corner will be preferable. Now, if you're in my way for doing loops, that could be a whole other thing to be negotiated, but this seems very simple. Yeah, this seems incredibly simple, in fact. So that's no bother. Then we can come back down here. We do Rebecca again. Which was what exactly? That up to there. Nope. This over. Nope. This up. Cut back to me saying, oh, this one's actually really, really simple, so we can just execute it again immediately. No, I think we're okay. That can go there. That's as far over as it'll go. Then these two are free and able to join the top left corner. And then we're ready to have another nap. Right, so let's go head, return, body, build left, head, finished. Another 3 bits of blue. Now, I'd love a little zoomed out view just to see kind of what we're working with here. It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, perhaps, because there's... Those 3 all went together, though they don't necessarily have to, I imagine. And there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So the numbers match up, but over on this right-hand corner, this right-hand side, it gets a lot more vague about which balls are combined with one another in which puzzles. This says we're at 55%. Does that just keep zooming in? Yeah, and I guess it's 3 floating balls to represent the 3 pieces that make one snow person. So now a decision has to be made about how I'm going to try and do the next bit. I could try and do these 2, both on the far left, and then one of these, and then one of these, one of those, and this one, because this one, I think, is far enough away that this corner, if I built this snow person in this corner, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps away from this, which is definitely too far. So this one is going to combine with either one of these and one of these, or both of these, and this one is going to be somewhere else. And then you got these 2. This one here. These 3. This here was just... Ah, interesting. Can I break these? Well, these 3 here were 1, 2, 3 abreast right here. So I hope I haven't screwed myself over in building that already. I think... What are you going to go with? Who's the most limited ball? This one's pretty limited. But I think this one would probably be better bottom right, because this is a double wide hedge. So let's start here. I want to build Sarah on the right. Now, of course, I have to remember how Sarah got built in the first place, which is a whole other thing. This can come along and down, and then onto this, which gives me enough passage to get around here. And I'm assuming we're going to want to go bottom right corner, because that is where we typically end up on these. Do I have a problem? Do I need to navigate this head first, because I need to use this tile to get that out of the way? Then we're okay. We can do whatever we want from here. Okay, so Sarah's good. Let's peep the inverse. This guy almost certainly wants to be either top right corner or bottom right corner of their room. But I think this is probably combining over here. So my next port of call, I think, is going to be this one. Top right of their room. Freya. That's concerning. If I push any of these to the left, I have to push them left again to get access to any of the others. So, can this actually be... Oh, yeah, hold on. Watch this. Watch this. Now that Freya is in 3 pieces, if I sleep on this bench and then come back and sleep on the bench again... Yes, I set my spawn point on the bench. I thought I was going to come back from sleep and they would be reset. But no, I've set my spawn point on the bench. So now I can push stuff towards the top right corner, which is what I'd worried I'd locked myself out of. So now becomes the question, who's going to be what? But I can start from this side as many times as I like. I think this might be good, especially if I can then come out and round and consume some more of this snow, particularly for this one here, to get a head out. We can push that over left once, that's no bother. And then if I put this in the top right corner, this can get 1 piece of snow. And then this can come out to the gangway, go up and right and up twice more. I'm really glad, it was episodes ago, I'm sure, but I think I trapped myself in by accident after taking a nap because I reset somewhere and it was some kind of problem, but that allowed me to realize that on this puzzle at least, I could reset my spawn point to the bench, which seems important. So now we actually have, I think, enough stuff that I could make a snow person out of these 3 if I so chose. If I add these 2 to the mix, we might be able to do both. And the interesting thing about that would be, take like this guy here. I could feasibly, he says, there might be some version of events where I use the trail of this piece as a walkway for the larger pieces to not get so small by moving over them. So let's ignore this room for a second, and let's try and bring these two both to as low in the bottom left as I can. So Ben and Alan. Did I have like a lot of trouble with Ben and Alan? I did. We did Ben and Alan really late because it was like 1, 2, 3. And I was having trouble getting past myself with Ben and Alan. So, strap in. We might only be here for a few minutes before I have to give myself up, but I have a strong memory of starting this in the top left corner. But if I start this in the top left corner, am I ever going to be able to get use of them in the lower left grouping? We will find out, I guess. What I need is just like a picture-in-picture instant replay of how I did everything else here. Now this can't come out of where it is without issues. And if this goes to here, I can't move it to the left. I think I've bitten off more than I can chew with that. Which is a problem because I'm not sure on the rest of these. Well, it doesn't help that there are very few benches around here, apparently. That might be for reasons of resetting within spaces and they do or do not want you to do it in various locations. But I almost, like, it would probably give it away too much, but I would love it if the snowballs were color-coded. Because if this snowball was going to be here, where I think it has to finish, like, I might be able to use this. If they finished over this side, and this one was actually one higher, and it was those three that make a snowman, can I make a snowman out of the lower three? I imagine I can, because it's going to look something like this. So then I've got this one and these two together, I think, which is going to involve this puzzle, rather than solving in the bottom right corner, solving here so it's a little bit closer to the top left corner of the garden on my right. So what's that going to look like? Great question. Hopefully, it's actually fairly simple to accomplish because we have lots of freedom of movement in this particular garden. If that were there, I actually need to move the head out first, which I think is something that I did exactly the same the last time. But I can't move the head out from here because I can't push it left or down. So come back a bunch. If this comes down one, then that goes over. I can have that ready to go. And then, this is going to be interesting, we're actually going to double hop the head around two corners to get it where we need. So I think that might be more hopeful for what needs to be achieved with Ben and Alan over here. But for now, that is going to be everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the series, please do consider subscribing or hitting that like button. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, you can put those down below. Otherwise, I'll see you for more puzzling next time. Cheers.